In this episode, we're going to be talking about how you can take Alex Hormozi's big ideas on creating a $100 million offer and apply it to your life. What's up, friends? Welcome to The Beautiful Mess, where we talk about tools and tactics to improve your life. I'm your host, Paul Dittis, a YouTuber, creative director, and a podcaster. And today, I'm super excited to be diving into this idea about applying Alex Hormozi's ideas of making $100 million offers to making your life better. And so we'll be diving into that. Before I jump into that, I want to ask you to rate, review, subscribe wherever you're listening, especially if you're on YouTube. I want you to join the YouTube fam. Just hit that subscribe button down below to join the messy fam. We've been growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, it might seem small relatively, but just within the last 28 days on YouTube alone, we've seen 74 people join the Messy Fam. So if you want to be in the group, join us as we embark on this journey of life. And as while I'm at it, there's also a link in the description if you want to make this year the best year yet, because reading books can change you. And so I'm going to share some of my favorite books. I think it's about 10, 12 books that out of the 40 that I read last year. And so if you're looking to make a difference this coming year, I highly recommend that you sign up for the email list and get that list of books. That way, one, you're staying updated with your Messy Fam, and two, you get a list of books that you should probably consider reading if you want to make a difference in your life this year. There's other things you can do to make a difference. I'm not going to say that, but highly recommend checking it out. The other thing I wanted to touch on was just a review. I was going back to my buddy Spencer, who helped me start this podcast. And it was something I was meaning to do because it's like the end of the year, 2022, and I had all these goals. Not all these goals. Remember, I'm very particular about the goals that I set. And I just wanted to do a review, like reality. How'd it go? Did I hit all the goals? Am I way off track? So I had a business goal with like a certain revenue goal. And I'm very proud to say I'm finishing up Q4 as of like January 16th or whatever. But since I started the business, I'm super excited about the leaps and bounds that I've been making. I believe this quarter I should nearly double the amount. I'm going by promised revenue. So basically deals that I'm closing and will fulfill maybe in the next year or so, just in case that's something that you're interested in. But super excited about that and just working with a bunch of awesome people. So if you're interested in any creative media work, podcasting, video work, you name it, I'd be happy to chat with you. Shoot me a message. So last year, some of the other goals, there were about 4 others besides like my main business goal since starting that business in August of last year. So podcasting, this podcast, I had the goal of making a podcast episode every single week. And I hit that. Crazy. 52 out of 52. It's funny because I actually missed last week, which just happened because I was traveling. I anticipated the one time that I was going to be out on vacation, but I didn't anticipate coming back from vacation and, needing one more episode. So I missed last week, but glad to be with you today. I had the goal of making many YouTube videos. Guess how many YouTube videos besides creating this, which I'm thinking YouTube videos on my main channel. I created zero. So I really want to get back into the YouTube game. Just love YouTube and love creating content for it and the people on the platform. It's just an exciting environment to be in. So that's one thing that I missed. That's a miss. And then I was hoping to get, I think it was about 150 or so days going to the CrossFit gym, which was like 3 times a week, let's say. So about 150, 56 maybe times. And I hit 44. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but hey, I made it a couple times and I'm hoping to get back on that train. So, and then the other one was the books, and I hit 40 out of 40. So not bad overall. Some areas I could improve, and especially that YouTube and CrossFit. Anyways, so Alex Hormozi, if you're not familiar with him, he's kind of like this marketing guru, and he's big into like gyms. Like he's launched gyms, and he's been very successful at that. Since then, he's switched fields into doing more acquisitions, kind of buying in a company and then exiting it after that company has, made a significant leap in how much they're earning. And so he makes an improvement in a company and then exits and for a profit. And so he recently, I don't know, maybe not so recently, but fairly recently, maybe last year or two, he wrote a book called The $100 Million Offers, how to make offers so good people feel stupid saying no. And I was on vacation, and this idea struck me of like, why can't I take some of these ideas from the book and actually apply them to my life? Because I felt like there were some areas that it just made sense. So I'm going to explore that with you, unpack that. Here's some quotes from the book. So Alex says, "The only thing that beats free is fast. People will pay for speed." It's so true. If you want to get a result, often people prefer getting it sooner. So if, let's say there's a magical pill, even though it's, 10 times more expensive, they'll pay for it if that gets you the results that you want sooner. Or like Amazon Prime is a great example. People want their shipment in faster. They have the 2-hour window of shipments now. It's insane. And so what areas of your life can you apply that? Like, think about if you could start implementing change tomorrow that would have great results. Why aren't you doing it? It's like sell the change to you, because sometimes there's like those little improvements that you can make that have like big dividends. I'm not like talking little changes, but like those changes that even though they might seem small, like it's going to reap big benefits in the future. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it's, posting every single week, every single day. Those little steps. I can't tell you like the difference posting a regular podcast has made. Like people comment on that like, oh, like you're very consistent with the podcast. And it's just like, I didn't know that would be like an effect of it, that people would see like that as a, aspect of like making a podcast, was like the consistency, but showing up really does make a difference. And it's like that, those repetitions that you got to put in the reps to get better at something. And so that's one aspect, is like, what can you accelerate? Think about how to make your week the best. Don't just, it's actually funny. I was watching a reel with Alex Hormozi, and he talks about why he doesn't set goals anymore. And it's basically because he believes that like you should basically form habits that'll change the person. Don't wait until this far off goal. Like start today, make those changes that are going to get you to that outcome. Don't like have a far off lofty goal that you're never going to hit. It's just like, start with reality. Where are you? What can you do today to get there? So people who help others with zero expectation experience higher levels of fulfillment, live longer, and make more money. This is another quote from Alex Hormozi. So I think that's another thing that like you have to factor into living a good life, is like, how can you help others? I'm going to name drop this guy, Ethan. He's on LinkedIn. If you're listening, Ethan, I have to thank you for what you've done, because he's kind of inspired me. He's like a giver. Like he kind of reached out and he was like, hey, can I he offered to help, like with no strings attached. And I just thought that was like a really neat thing, because oftentimes when I get reached out to on LinkedIn, it's like people wanting to sell me a service, or let me review your thing to sell you a service. And I just thought that was really neat that he reached out without, necessarily wanting something in return. And in fact, he referred someone to me, which I thought was very like thoughtful. Like, it's not just like, hey, I need something from you. It's like, I'm recognizing the value of this relationship, and just being willing to help someone. And so I had a conversation with Ethan, and we kind of shared some ideas, and it was a good conversation. And hopefully it's the beginning of a friendship there. But you never know, like, what that could lead to. And so be open to those things happening. So this is the nugget of gold. Like, this is the stuff that I feel like is going to be transformative for you, is asking yourself, what are the things that you can do that can make your year like 10 times or 100 times better? And don't start by like thinking, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Just open the field, and start by thinking, hey, if I started working out every day, would that make my year 10 times better? Probably would. If you're not working out right now, that's a great place to look. Maybe reading books. If I read a book every single week, would that make my life better? Probably. If I started researching and starting a business, or starting a podcast, starting a creative endeavor, would that make my life better? Probably yes. Just for speaking from experience, just having running a business, starting a podcast, having a YouTube channel, it's amazing how just starting those things have led to many, many opportunities that I probably wouldn't have if I had never started. So my message to you is to think about those things that reap big dividends to get you closer to where you want to go. Maybe you don't want to start a podcast, but you want to become a world-class gymnast, let's say. Then, if that's your goal in life, is to become maybe a star athlete, you should seek out ways that you can improve your athletic ability, maybe working out every day, putting in the reps, finding people that are better than you who can help you down the path that you want to go. Think big picture. So, and so like his idea from Alex Hormozi is like, what are the ideas? And he kind of like talks about it as like, something simple like a brick. There's many people just think you can use a brick to build things. But if you just sit and like brainstorm tons of different ideas, you'll think of all different ways that you can market a brick. All of a sudden, a brick becomes a paperweight. All of a sudden, a brick becomes a way to be a door stopper. And then all of a sudden, this brick's value becomes a lot higher, because all of a sudden, there's a different market in mind for that brick. And one of the things he talks about is finding the key objections, or the things that people will want before they buy your product and after they buy your product. So that's something to keep in mind when you're thinking about making your offer to yourself 100 times or 10 times better, is what ways can I package this, offer to me, improving my life, that is going to, one, yield better results for me, and two, it's making an offer I can't refuse, and look at it from all the different angles, So I think that's like, if, for example, with working out, you could see it from the one aspect. It's like, I'm going to be healthier, but then you can also see it from like, I'm going to become more fit. I'm going to be able to, play sports easily. I'm going to be able to maybe look better, get better rest, eat healthier probably, because you're going to need better fuel to, live that lifestyle of exercising regularly. And so think about what are your objections or problems you might face before or after you make that decision, so that you can be ready when all of a sudden you're tempted to give up on it. I think that really helped me when I was first starting out CrossFit. I had like that intentionality of that I wanted to have the results of being fit. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted, I've looked at many different, it's funny. It's like some of the people that I look up to in the YouTube space are often, they work out on the side. Maybe they're not working out regular, like to get like super big muscles or whatever. But like that seemed like that was part of their lifestyle that allowed them to do what they're doing, because then they had the energy, they had the drive to get the other things that they wanted to get done. And then what are the guarantees that you can give yourself? So this is another thing. If you're making an offer to somebody, what are the guarantees that you can make? It's going to be so good that your grandma is going to ask you for the recipe. Those kind of promises where all of a sudden you're not just making like, hey, I'm going to get fit, but it's like, if I do this, I'm nearly guaranteed that I'm going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Maybe you have a bigger picture goal. So for example, if I wanted to get 100,000 subscribers and I don't plan to make a video, there's like a 0% chance of me getting those. However, if I make a video every single day and I look for ways to improve it every single day, there is a good chance that I'm going to improve and I'm going to be able to get, that plaque that YouTube sends out for getting 100,000 subscribers. So it's thinking about ways to incentivize yourself to see the big picture, not just like, hey, right now, like I've got to get these things done. It's like you're doing it. What's the why behind the reason that you're doing it? So I think that'll help you stay motivated, is if you can see like more of the guarantee at the end. And I'll say this again and again and again. Just get started before you're ready. Because one, you got to push your ego out. It's like, I'm not going to be perfect the first time. I'm not going to be perfect the second time. And in our instant gratification world, we expect that. We expect, hey, like I just picked up the guitar yesterday. I should be a proficient guitarist now. Like what's wrong with me that I haven't learned how to play guitar like Jimi Hendrix? It's like, no, that's not realistic. So setting realistic expectations, like I'm just now seeing results on this podcast just from posting consistently every single week. And if I would have stopped halfway through, I probably still would have had like about 100 subscribers and, nowhere near where I'm at now. And I just see like this as a momentum. It's like, hey, I'm just getting started. Like things are just getting into place. We're ready to go. Let's go. The other thing that I would recommend is limitations. Limitations don't have to be seen as a bad thing. What are the limitations that you can place to make your year 10 times, 100 times better? So maybe that's a time deadline to get something done. Maybe you sign up for a marathon. It's like, hey, no matter what happens, it can be good to have deadlines, because then all of a sudden you got that thing that you're working towards. Maybe there's a fixed quantity. Maybe like every single week, as long as I hit this goal, I'm good. And that way you stay motivated. And if you miss a week, you can just get back up. And don't get discouraged if you miss a week, or a day or two. But at the same time, don't lollygag. Just get going. And then rarity, like what are those things that you can tell yourself, hey, if I do this and stay consistent with it, like all of a sudden you're becoming rare. It's like you become in this $100 million offer. All of a sudden it's you that are becoming that $100 million person, because you're becoming this rare commodity. You're someone that's pushing yourself to becoming a better person, because a lot of people like to stay in that comfort zone where it's just, the usual day-to-day thing. You don't have to do anything different and not rocking any boats, but you're not really going anywhere. Maybe this is your wake-up call. If you're looking to do something in life and you're not moving towards it, then you're probably moving away from it, or, just staying in this lukewarm kind of field. But if you want to get somewhere, if you want to apply your life to something and have direction, then I recommend that you make yourself $100 million offer for you. Bet on you, because some of the three most important things that Alex Hormozi talks about that people want is certainty. They want speed and they want ease. Those are the things that people pay a lot for. If you can help them learn something faster, you're helping them with ease and speed. Like those two things, all of a sudden, something that was very difficult, like learning how to play an instrument, is a lot easier with someone helping you learn. So think about those shortcuts as well as you plan out your year, as you think about what are those things that will improve your life. Think about how can you speed the process up to becoming a much better, let's say, if you want to become a better presenter. I'm currently watching this YouTuber or like a person that's very much into presenting. I need to get better at that. So that's one of the things that I'll probably be doing, is learning how to become a good presenter. And so I think that's the long and short of it. What are the strategies that you will use this year, this week, this month to make your day, to make your week, to make your year, to make your life 10 times better? So that's the moral of the story, is make yourself an offer you can't refuse to become the person that you want to become. And until next time, my friends, stay messy and get going.